5,000 minutes. That's over 80 hours of Roberto De Zerbi's Marseille. Every single game from the start of the 2024 to 2025 season until now. Every pass, every press, every tactical adjustment. And let me tell you, what this man is doing at Marseille is absolutely insane. This isn't just good football, this is revolutionary football. And if you're not paying attention to De Zerbi's Marseille right now, you're missing out on something special. So buckle up, because I'm about to break down exactly what makes De Zerbi's tactics so unique, so effective, and so damn entertaining. Look, when De Zerbi was announced as Marseille's new manager in the summer of 2024, people were excited. And rightfully so. This is the guy who took Brighton from a mid-table Premier League team to European qualification, playing some of the most beautiful football the league had ever seen. He turned players like Alexis Mac Allister and Moises Caicedo into £100 million superstars. He made Brighton one of the most exciting teams to watch in world football, so when Marseille came calling, offering him the chance to manage one of France's biggest clubs, it was a no-brainer. But here's the thing. Nobody expected this. Nobody expected De Zerbi to come into League One and completely dominate the way he has. As of October 2025, Marseille are sitting second in the table, just 3 points behind Paris Saint-Germain, and they've been playing the most attacking, the most aggressive, and the most entertaining football in the entire league. They're scoring goals for fun, they're pressing like maniacs, and they're making some of the best teams in France look absolutely clueless. So what's the secret? What is De Zerbi doing that's so different? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to explain. Because after watching 5,000 minutes of his Marseille side, I've noticed patterns, I've spotted tactical nuances, and I've seen things that most people miss. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to understand why De Zerbi is one of the best tactical minds in world football right now. Let's start with the basics. De Zerbi's Marseille play in a 4-2-3-1 formation. Now, on paper, that sounds pretty standard, right? Lots of teams play 4-2-3-1, but the way De Zerbi sets up his team within that formation is anything but standard. Because this isn't a rigid, structured 4-2-3-1 where everyone stays in their position. This is a fluid, dynamic, constantly evolving system where players are interchanging positions, making runs into space, and creating overloads all over the pitch. The key to understanding De Zerbi's tactics is understanding his philosophy. And his philosophy is simple. Dominate the ball, dominate the space, and dominate the opponent. He wants his team to have the ball as much as possible. He wants them to press high and win it back quickly when they lose it. And he wants them to create as many goal-scoring opportunities as possible. It's aggressive, it's intense, and it's absolutely relentless. But let's break it down position by position, because that's where you really start to see the genius of De Zerbi's system. Let's start with the goalkeeper. Now, most managers want their goalkeeper to be good with their feet, to be able to play out from the back. But De Zerbi, he takes it to a whole new level. He doesn't just want his goalkeeper to pass the ball to the center backs. He wants his goalkeeper to be an active part of the build-up play, to make line-breaking passes, to create numerical advantages. Pau Lopez, Marseille's goalkeeper, has been absolutely crucial to De Zerbi's system. Lopez isn't just making saves, he's making passes that most midfielders would struggle with. He's playing balls into tight spaces, he's finding forwards with long passes, and he's constantly looking to start attacks quickly. In the first 10 games of the season, Lopez completed over 300 passes, and his pass completion rate was over 80%. For a goalkeeper, that's ridiculous. But it's not just about the quantity of passes, it's about the quality. Lopez is constantly looking for the third man run, the player who's making a run beyond the opposition's midfield line, and when he finds them, Marseille can go from defense to attack in seconds. It's one of the reasons why Marseille are so dangerous on the counterattack, because they can bypass the opposition's press with one pass from the goalkeeper. Now let's talk about the center backs. In De Zerbi's system, the center backs are absolutely vital. They're not just there to defend, they're there to build play, to step into midfield, and to create numerical advantages. Marseille's center backs, Leonardo Balerdi and Chancel Mbemba, have been given the freedom to push forward, to carry the ball into midfield, and to make passes that break the opposition's lines. But here's where it gets interesting. When one of the center backs steps forward, the other one stays back to provide cover. And at the same time, one of the defensive midfielders drops between the center backs to create a back three. This allows Marseille to maintain their defensive stability while also creating an extra man in midfield. It's a simple concept, but it's incredibly effective. And the fullbacks. Oh man, the fullbacks are where De Zerbi's system really comes to life. In most teams, fullbacks either stay wide to provide width or they tuck inside to create overloads in midfield. But in De Zerbi's system, the fullbacks do both. They're constantly moving, constantly adjusting their position based on where the ball is and where the space is. Jonathan Klaus on the right and Quentin Merlin on the left have been absolutely sensational this season. They're not just providing width, they're creating overloads, they're making underlapping runs, they're getting into the box to score goals. Klaus has already got 3 assists this season, and Merlin has scored 2 goals. For fullbacks, those are incredible numbers. But what makes them so effective is their understanding of when to push forward and when to stay back. If the ball is on the right side, Klaus will push high and wide, while Merlin will tuck inside to create an overload in midfield. And if the ball switches to the left, they swap roles. It's a constant rotation, a constant adjustment, and it makes Marseille incredibly difficult to defend against. Now let's talk about the midfield, because this is where De Zerbi's tactics get really complex. Marseille play with 2 defensive midfielders, and their roles are absolutely crucial to how the team functions. The 2 players who've been starting in those positions are Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Azzedine Ounahi, and they've been brilliant. But here's the thing. They're not just sitting in front of the defense, protecting the back 4. They're constantly moving, constantly adjusting their positions, constantly looking to create passing angles. When Marseille are building from the back, one of the defensive midfielders will drop between the center backs to create a back 3, while the other one will push forward to receive the ball in midfield. And when Marseille are attacking, the defensive midfielders are constantly looking to make forward runs, to get into the box, to create goal-scoring opportunities. Højbjerg has already scored 2 goals this season, both from late runs into the box, and Ounahi has been brilliant at carrying the ball forward, at breaking the opposition's lines with his dribbling. But the real magic happens with the attacking midfielders. Marseille play with 3 attacking midfielders behind the striker, and they're given complete freedom to roam, to interchange positions, to create chaos. The 3 players who've been starting in those positions are Amin Harit, Ismail Assar, and Luis Henrique, and they've been absolutely unplayable at times. Harit, who plays as the number 10, is the creative hub of the team. He's constantly dropping deep to receive the ball, constantly looking to play passes between the lines, constantly creating chances for his teammates. He's already got 5 assists this season, and he's been involved in pretty much every goal Marseille have scored. Sarr and Henrique, who play on the wings, are constantly cutting inside, constantly making runs in behind, constantly switching positions. They're not traditional wingers who stay wide and cross the ball. They're inside forwards who want to get into the box, who want to score goals, who want to create chaos. Sarr has already scored 6 goals this season, and Henrique has scored 4. Those are incredible numbers for wingers. But what makes Marseille's attack so effective is the constant movement, the constant rotation. The wingers will swap positions. The number 10 will drift wide. The striker will drop deep. And suddenly, the opposition has no idea who they're supposed to be marking. It's positional chaos, and it's absolutely beautiful to watch. And speaking of the striker, let's talk about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now, Aubameyang is 36 years old, and a lot of people thought his best days were behind him. But under De Zerbi, he's been reborn. He's scored 10 goals in the first 10 games of the season, and he's been absolutely clinical in front of goal. But it's not just about the goals. Aubameyang's movement, his positioning, his understanding of when to drop deep and when to run in behind has been crucial to how Marseille attack. He's constantly creating space for his teammates, constantly dragging defenders out of position, constantly making runs that open up opportunities for others. All right, before we get into the pressing and the defensive side of De Zerbi's tactics, I need you to do something for me. If you're enjoying this tactical breakdown and you want to see more in-depth analysis of the best teams and managers in world football, smash that like button and subscribe to Soccer Chronicles. Seriously, it helps us out massively, and it lets us know that you want more content like this. Also, drop a comment below and let me know. What's your favorite tactical system in football right now? I want to hear your thoughts. All right, let's get back to it. So we've talked about how Marseille build up, how they attack, how they create chances, but what about when they don't have the ball? Because that's where De Zerbi's tactics are just as impressive. Marseille don't just sit back and defend when they lose the ball, they press. And they press hard. De Zerbi's pressing system is based on one simple principle: win the ball back as quickly as possible, as high up the pitch as possible. When Marseille lose the ball, the nearest player immediately presses the opponent, while the rest of the team shifts across to cut off passing lanes. It's a coordinated, aggressive press that's designed to force the opposition into making mistakes. And the stats back it up. Marseille have won the ball back in the opposition's half more than any other team in Ligue 1 this season. They've forced more turnovers, they've created more chances from high turnovers, and they've scored more goals from winning the ball back high up the pitch. It's a huge part of why they've been so successful. But the press isn't just about winning the ball back, it's about controlling the game. When Marseille press high, they force the opposition to play long balls, to bypass their midfield, to give up possession. And when the opposition give up possession, Marseille can dominate the ball, dominate the space, and dominate the game. But here's the thing. Pressing like this is exhausting. It requires incredible fitness, incredible discipline, and incredible coordination, and that's where De Zerbi's coaching comes in. He's drilled his players to perfection, he's made sure they understand their roles, and he's made sure they know exactly when to press and when to drop off. Because the press isn't constant. Marseille don't press for 90 minutes straight. That would be impossible. Instead, they press in waves. They'll press high for 5 or 10 minutes, force the opposition into making mistakes, and then they'll drop off and conserve their energy. And then, when the opposition thinks they've got a bit of breathing room, Marseille will press again. It's a constant cycle, and it's incredibly effective. Now let's talk about the defensive transitions, because this is where a lot of teams struggle. When you play such an aggressive, attacking style of football, you leave yourself vulnerable to counterattacks. If you lose the ball high up the pitch, the opposition can hit you on the break and create dangerous chances, but De Zerbi has found a way to minimize that risk. When Marseille lose the ball, they have a 5-second rule. For 5 seconds, they press aggressively to try and win the ball back immediately. If they can't win it back in those 5 seconds, they drop off into a compact defensive shape. The fullbacks tuck inside, the midfielders drop deep, and the attackers fall back to help defend. It's a quick transition from attack to defense, and it's crucial to preventing counterattacks. And the stats show that it's working. Marseille have conceded fewer goals from counterattacks than any other team in Ligue 1 this season. They've been incredibly disciplined in their defensive transitions, and it's a huge reason why they've been so solid at the back. But let's talk about some specific games, because that's where you really see De Zerbi's tactical genius. One of the standout performances this season was Marseille's 3-1 win over Lyon in September. Lyon are a good team, they've got quality players, and they're always difficult to beat. But Marseille absolutely dominated them. From the first whistle, Marseille pressed high, they won the ball back in dangerous areas, and they created chance after chance. Aubameyang scored twice, Sarr scored once, and Marseille could have easily scored 5 or 6. But what was most impressive was the way they controlled the game. Lyon barely had a sniff, they couldn't get out of their own half, and they were completely overwhelmed by Marseille's intensity. Another standout performance was the 2-1 win over Monaco in October. Monaco are one of the best teams in France. They've got one of the best attacks in the league, and they're always a threat. But Marseille went to the Stade Louis II and outplayed them. They dominated possession, they created more chances, and they deserved to win. What was particularly impressive in that game was the way Marseille dealt with Monaco's press. Monaco tried to press high to disrupt Marseille's build-up play, but Marseille were too good. They played through the press with quick, one-touch passes, they found space between the lines, and they created overloads all over the pitch. It was a masterclass in how to beat a high press. But it hasn't all been perfect. Marseille have had a few slip-ups this season, and that's to be expected when you play such an aggressive style of football. They lost 2-1 to Lens in August, and they drew 1-1 with Rennes in September. In both games, Marseille dominated possession, they created more chances, but they couldn't convert their opportunities. And that's the risk with De Zerbi's system. If you don't take your chances, you can get punished. But overall, the results have been incredible. Marseille have won 8 of their first 10 games, they've scored 28 goals, and they're playing some of the best football in Europe right now. And the fans are loving it. The Stade Velodrome has been absolutely rocking this season, with over 60,000 fans turning up for every home game, creating an atmosphere that's been described as one of the best in world football. So what does the future hold for De Zerbi's Marseille? Well, if they can keep up this form, they've got a real chance of winning Ligue 1. PSG are still the favorites, they've got the best squad in the league, but Marseille are right there with them. And if Marseille can beat PSG when they play each other in November, they'll send a real statement to the rest of the league. But it's not just about Ligue 1. Marseille are also competing in the Europa League, and they've got a real chance of going far in that competition. They've won their first 2 games, they've looked impressive, and if they can maintain their form, they could be lifting a European trophy at the end of the season. And beyond this season, the future looks incredibly bright for Marseille. De Zerbi has built a system, he's got the players buying into his philosophy, and he's creating a style of football that's sustainable. This isn't a one-season wonder, this is the start of something special. But let's talk about the bigger picture, because what De Zerbi is doing at Marseille is bigger than just one club. He's proving that you don't need to spend hundreds of millions of pounds to play beautiful, attacking football. He's proving that with the right tactics, the right coaching, and the right philosophy, you can compete with anyone. And that's what makes De Zerbi so special. He's not just a good manager, he's a revolutionary. He's changing the way people think about football. He's inspiring a new generation of coaches, and he's showing that there's more than one way to win. So to sum it all up, what makes De Zerbi's Marseille so special? It's the fluidity, the intensity, the creativity. It's the way they dominate the ball, the way they press, the way they create chances. It's the constant movement, the constant rotation, the constant chaos. It's football played at its highest level, and it's absolutely beautiful to watch. After watching 5,000 minutes of De Zerbi's Marseille, I can confidently say that this is one of the most exciting teams in world football right now. They're not just winning games, they're dominating games. They're not just scoring goals, they're creating works of art. And if you're not watching Marseille right now, you're missing out on something truly special. So, if you enjoyed this deep dive into Roberto De Zerbi's tactics and you want to see more in-depth tactical analysis of the best teams and managers in world football, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload from Soccer Chronicles. Drop a comment below and let me know. Do you think Marseille can win Ligue 1 this season, or will PSG be too strong? I want to hear your predictions, and if you want to see more videos about the best tactics, the biggest stories, and the greatest moments in football, check out the video on screen right now. Trust me, you're going to love it. Alright, that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.